I wanted to say some things about this video, so what's next from SatchonSims. I recommend you watch this one first. It's this I'm sick of performative Sims influencers video. The thumbnail is really clickbaity, which I'm not a fan of. This video from Satch is definitely referencing this video a lot, so if you haven't seen that, it's kind of necessary to consume this, but I didn't want to react to this, so if you want me to react to it, let me know. But right now I'm going to be reacting to SatchonSims. So what's next video?
This is not an apology video. I am not reacting to any content that's been made about me. I'm not responding to any accusations. If you came here for YouTuber drama, this is not the video at all to make.
Okay, so my first problem. Referring to this as YouTuber drama, which, by the way, if you don't know, this is about the sale of EA to basically Saudi Arabian government. Sale to Saudi Arabia and Jared Kushner. So essentially, if you buy packs from EA once this sale goes through, which apparently they already hold 10% of the company anyway, which I was not aware of. So essentially going forward, if that sale goes through, your money would be funding a lot of not so good things. And a lot of Sims creators who are known for being very inclusive and essentially very left-leaning are coming under fire for their refusal to essentially stop funding the Sims, stop supporting the Sims. And Satch made a video where he said, I'm only gonna directly quote this one quote because this is all I remember, and he took the video down. And in this video, he talks about how he hates being taken out of context. So I'm not gonna take him out of context. I remember specifically one sentence he said was, "There is no ethical consumption under capitalism." And a lot of people's critique of that was that it's different when you don't know where your money is going, but with this sale, we know exactly where our money is going, and it's not exactly good. So that's the critique of that. So I guess this is the response to how that video was interpreted.
Make it clear from the offset. So I am a gaming YouTuber who yaps on about The Sims all day. I'm not a public speaker, especially when it comes to political topics and business topics. I don't know anything about it. I don't watch the news. I don't read.
And I think this is true, and it's also valid. I think you can have too high of expectations for some creators. So I will agree with him there. You make videos about video games. We don't expect you to be some great public speaker when it comes to important topics.
News articles. I don't even watch TikToks about the news. I haven't done so for years, and that's just my personal choice. It's what keeps me a happier person.
Interesting. I'm always a little bit wary of people who are like, oh yeah, I just don't consume the news, I don't blah 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 whatever, because I have definitely been like that. I think it really upsets you to consume a lot of negative stuff all the time. However, it is essentially just admitting, hey, I'm really privileged and the bad stuff going on in the world right now is not affecting me, so therefore I don't really have to know about it. And I think to kind of publicly admit that is a choice. I think it's one thing to be like, I'm not really a fan of watching the news, I don't like the news, and then it's another thing to be like, yeah, I haven't watched the news in years, it makes me sad, so I don't know anything that's going on, and I don't really care about it, because it makes me sad. Which is fine, that is your choice, but we, as the consumers of your content, we have a right to be wary of that or to criticize you for that.
I'd like to say, I feel like it was wrong of me to make a statement so quickly, which is why I decided to private my original video. I didn't know and still don't really know that much information about the business side and the political side of the deal.
So that's when I would have done some research. You obviously care about how people interpreted what you said. So if you're going to follow that up with more thoughts, I think being like, yeah, I still have no idea what's going on, is again a choice. It's fine if you don't want to know what's going on. If you don't want to look into that, that is fine. But then maybe don't make a video like this one criticizing the people who do. That's what I think my issue is with this.
I think everyone has an expectation of SatchonSims to be the kind of character that always gives a strong opinion about something, which, looking back, I wish I didn't try to live up to what I thought were people's expectations of that, because when I'm yapping on about The Sims, I know The Sims, I get The Sims, but I don't understand this whole deal and the situation as much as other people do, so hence I decided to remove my original video. Secondly,
and that's great. I think it's great that he's admitting that. That does make me have a problem with the beginning where he said, this is not an apology, I'm not sorry. And he'll go on to say that he's not accountable to anyone. And he's only accountable to himself. But like, if you're admitting you don't know a lot about it, this is a very important topic. It's a heavy topic. Maybe you should apologize. Like, you know, again, you don't have to do anything, but being like, yeah, I'm not apologizing, but I took it down because people didn't like it. Then why'd you make this video? Like, you should have just taken it down and not said anything, because what is this?
I would like to say I am a Buddhist. I don't know if I've spoken about this really on YouTube, but I go to, well, before I moved house to a completely new city, I used to go to my local Buddhist temple weekly.
I wasn't gonna really comment on his religion. I don't think it's relevant. I think it's a good thing that people should be able to practice whatever religion they want. I don't think it's relevant to the situation at all, and however often you go to church or temple or etc. does not have an effect on what type of person you are. You can be an awful person and go to church twice a week, 3 times a week. So I get he's trying to give context here and kind of tell a little about himself. Doesn't really do much for me, but maybe it does for other people.
I love Buddhism, and the core number one thing about Buddhism is all about human suffering, and I know there's a lot.
I wasn't going to say anything about it, but so then why do you not care about human suffering? I mean, I'm sure he does. I don't think he's an evil person. I just have kind of an issue with how he has handled this situation. But you literally say, and he goes on, it gets worse. But you literally say you don't care about politics, you don't check on that stuff because it makes you sad, and then you say that your religion is really heavy on human suffering. Okay.
Of suffering in the Middle East, particularly at this given time. And of course, I dislike this suffering, but I've always avoided talking about real world issues on YouTube. So for me to make an unscripted video about it, I can admit I made a mistake and there was a lot for me to learn from.
And I think that's really valid. I think a lot of people will be like, oh, but you put videos online, so you have to do activism. You have to do all this stuff. And I don't think that's necessarily true. I think the difference in this situation is that these Sims influencers are promoting a game that is now going to have actual real world consequences of who their money is going to be going towards, who it's going to be hurting. So I get completely where he's coming from, and I agree with him, where just because you have a platform doesn't mean you have to use that platform in that way. Is it great when people do? Yeah. But I think just expecting everyone to do that is probably not a good idea, because not everybody, like he said, is equipped to do stuff like that.
That experience. I would also like to be clear, just because I'm gay, my burden to show sympathy to LGBT people lacking human rights in the Middle East is no more than anyone else's. I've seen people attack me for being gay, telling me that because I'm gay, I have to somehow step up more in a special way, more than anyone else should have to.
So I haven't seen anybody attacking gay creators about this. I'm sure that it's happening. I believe him that it's happening, but from what I've seen, it's more so people saying that you're a hypocrite if you, and it was mainly less about being gay and more about, there was one creator who said that they were really worried about where the inclusivity in the game would go if this deal went through, like if they would take away gay marriage and all that stuff. And I think some of the points the community were making were, instead of being concerned about the gay representation in the game, maybe be more concerned about how your money would be going towards hurting real gay people. That is what the normal people were trying to say. I'm sure that I know there are extremists in the Sims community who are just mean and nasty, and nobody should be specifically singling out and attacking gay creators over this. That's just not necessary.
And that's not fair, and I'm standing up for myself here. Whether you're straight or gay, we are all equally capable of having sympathy, and we are all able to stand up for those who don't have equality. Over the last couple of weeks, the amount of homophobic abuse I've had is abhorrent, which is just ironic when you consider that this is in the name of peace for LGBT people. Not just homophobic abuse, by the way, people mocking my appearance, my voice, people making lies about my political beliefs, about my social beliefs, apparently all in the name of
Obviously, that's not okay.
boycotting Saudi Arabia. I don't like the Sims community. I never have and I never will, and I've always been clear about that on my channel. I do not consider myself a part of the community. I think
He is. I mean, you're a Sims YouTuber. You are. Okay.
overall it's a cruel community. I think there are many bullies in the community, and I find it very fake and performative. The amount of abuse I've had in the last few days is enough to break someone. Luckily, I can handle it, and I want to say it's not just about me. I'm not
But that's a good time for me to say, please do not send hate to any of these creators. Caveat to that, and I left a comment on this video that was sort of to the extent of this: criticism and hate are not the same thing. Criticism is not attacking. And while I'm sure, and I believe him that he has been attacked over this, I know that he has, a lot of it is valid criticism, and he doesn't address the valid criticism. He is only talking about attacks, and that's a problem that I have with a lot of YouTubers, where they will do something that will get them into hot water, and they're like, I've got death threats. People are telling me to kill myself. People are talking about how ugly I am. And it's like, that's true, but what about the people who were fans of you who are just disappointed in what you're doing? Maybe you can do both at the same time. You can condemn the awful fringe parts of it and also address the people who are just in good faith disappointed at you.
Victimizing myself here at all. There's been a lot of abuse to other creators too. Creators abusing other creators, either directly or indirectly making snivy comments. Creators influencing their followers to abuse other people. But the thing that's really pissed me off about this situation is the racism and xenophobia towards Arabic people in general. I've traveled the world.
Again, I believe that this is happening. I am not on the corners of the internet where this is happening, so I haven't seen it, but I know the Sims community. I know it can be a nasty place, so I do believe that's happening. However, I would say that's probably a vocal minority, and I find it interesting that you have a problem with that, but you don't have a problem with what the Saudi Arabian government is doing enough to speak out against it. It just feels very much like cherry picking what I want to be upset with.
A lot, and I can categorically say Arabic people are the nicest, kindest, most friendly, welcoming people I've ever met. 100%. And the amount of racist jokes and xenophobic jokes people are making about them, hatred towards these people just because of this situation.
And I agree, that's not okay. Obviously, racism is never okay. Neither is what the Saudi Arabian government is doing. And I think criticizing the government is completely different from criticizing the people. I think that's very true of America right now. Like, most Americans that I know are criticizing our government, but that doesn't mean that the American people are out there. Some of them are, but you know what I'm saying. I think government entities and just the normal everyday citizen are two different things. So 1000% agree with him. I do think it's like cherry picking what is actually a bigger issue.
Is horrendous, coming from the Sims community, which is apparently the inclusive gaming community that includes everyone, the kind community, the diverse Sims community that actually happens to be, honestly, one of the rudest communities I've ever come across. And it's for this reason why I say this is not an apology video, because I do not hold myself account to the Sims community. I have so...
What about your own community? Because this is where I will say, I used to be a viewer of Satch, and when I say used to be, this situation has made me stop, but also I just kind of stopped consuming Sims content in general because I don't like the company. I actually started a gaming channel recently, and I have one Sims video I haven't finished yet that happened before all of this, and I don't know if I'm gonna post it or not. My overall thoughts about this situation is I think you should continue playing The Sims. I don't think there's anything wrong with playing a game that you put thousands of dollars into or hundreds of dollars into. I just don't think you should advertise people buying it. I don't think you should actively buy new packs. That's what I'm not going to buy new packs for the foreseeable future unless something changes, which I haven't supported them in a really long time just because, even aside from all of this, I just didn't like what do you mean you pay thousands of dollars and you still don't have the full game? Like, it just felt very greedy to me, so I don't like that. But I think this is where it really bothers me, because you can't say, well, I don't hold myself accountable to the Sims community. What about your own community? What about the people who are in your community that are disappointed in you? Because that's, you know, I'm sure that's a thing. Although if you look at the comments, you won't see any, and you'll figure out why in a little bit.
So many wonderful friends who are a part of the Sims community, and I care about what they think of me. But to make it clear to anyone who is new to my channel or didn't know before, I'm in my own lane, always have been, always will be. I'm accountable to myself and myself only. So
that scares me. I just, like, you don't have to hold yourself accountable to an entire community, like the whole Sims community. I get that. But to be like, I'm only accountable to myself. I think as humans, we're kind of wired to just assume that we're always in the right. So if we're not taking opinions from other people, obviously you take it with a grain of salt. But if you're only accountable to yourself, you're not going to do much growing. And I just think that's, again, a really weird thing to brag about.
What do I do in this situation with this buyout? I don't know, and it's for that reason right now I'm just continuing on as normal. I don't want to make any big decisions or sweeping decisions. It's too soon for me personally to even think.
And that is totally okay. I don't think that he should be forced to make any sort of decision like that.
About making any big decisions. In terms of what decisions other people make for their channel, that's their decision, not mine. I'm not going to praise them or criticize them. I'm not going to comment on any other YouTuber and what they do or don't do, because they are also in their own lane, and I don't feel like it's my place to judge or hold them accountable. I'm just editing this video, cutting out the gaps, and I just want to make it very clear. Obviously, I don't want this deal to go through. I think it would be a bad idea. EA will always be, you know, a cash grabbing mess, whether they do or not, so we're kind of damned if they do or if they don't, as a perspective as a Sims player. But just after reading this video, I've seen some news. Apparently, EA employees are doing a petition to stop this from going through, and apparently there are even politicians involved. So this deal might not even happen in the end.
True. I think from my perspective, this situation informed me that they already had a stake in the company. So I don't feel comfortable messing with that regardless, because a portion of my money would be going to fund that, which I don't support. People boycott a lot of stuff. I don't know if you've read how much this deal is going for. I don't think that this is going to do anything. I think it's a good thing to try. But I don't think you can say, oh, well, they're boycotting it, so it might not even happen. Like, that is true, but we don't know yet. And as other people have said, if you just continue supporting them like nothing's happening, the more money they make, eventually that's going to go to the new buyers. So, and I don't know. I mean, yeah, this is great and this is good and hopeful. I still do think we should just pause and wait to see how it plays out.
If you know what I mean. Like, it seems like there's so much backlash already with politicians getting involved and EA employees getting involved too. If EA employees mass walked out or something along those lines, obviously this deal wouldn't go through. This is why, another reason why I just wanted to say it's so important not to make rash decisions based on fear, based on any form of emotional drive, because it is just way...
Okay, he just said that he wasn't going to tell anybody how they should decide, Sorry, he just said that he wasn't going to tell anybody how they should act and what decisions they should make. And now he's saying, this is why it's so important not to do what I don't want you to do. And it's just like, you could have said, this is why I'm not going to do this, because you've taken this stance of not caring what anybody else does. But I think he does care.
Too soon to do any big decisions, and I just wanted to make that clear. And already it looks like there's a high chance this may not even go through in the first place.
Not
As
a high
an independent YouTuber who's not in the EA creator network and never has been, I've been criticizing EA's business practices for years. I've been telling people to not buy the packs. I've been telling people that a boycott of the game would be a good idea, in my opinion, in order to improve the game. I am not an EA shill. I am not dependent on EA. I'm an independent person who likes some things about the...
And I think that's why people were so upset. You have this history of not supporting them when you feel something is wrong to you. So what this gave was, I don't really think this is that wrong. And that was just shocking to people, including myself. Like, you, Satch, were one of the people I expected to drop this immediately. And just because I expected that doesn't mean you have to. But it does give me the right to be a little upset about it.
Sims and EA and also dislike some things about The Sims and EA, and that has never changed. If your opinions are different to mine, that's fine, because you are also an individual yourself. I do admit it's frustrating when I see clips of things that I've said taken out of context and really overly analysed in a way that I didn't even intend when I said the words. It's for one of these reasons why I personally don't watch the news, as I said before, because I know how easily things get taken out of context. But however frustrating it is, I cannot be accountable for what other people say and do. If other people choose to take what I've said and use it to form a narrative, or refuse to offer me any form of right to reply, or even make up mistruths about me, that's not my problem. I can't control other people's actions. I can only control mine. And one of the most unfortunate aspects of being a content creator is knowing that there's not really anything you can do. I've been a YouTuber long enough and been cancelled many times before, so I know you could provide.
And okay, so he started this video by referring to it as drama. Now he's talking about being canceled, and I just think there's people dying, Kim. We're talking about people dying. We're talking about people being mistreated. This is not about you. This is not about you being canceled. This is not people trying to cancel you. This is people saying, hey, wake up. Your money is funding murderers. Hey, wake up.
100% hard evidence to prove the opposite of what somebody says about you, but they still won't believe you. Once somebody's made a decision about you, it's very difficult to change their minds, and it's for this reason I say I'm only accountable to myself. I'd also like to reiterate that I could be begging on my hands and knees. I could donate half of my income this month to a human rights charity and people would still be pissed off with me. That's just how it works. In fact, I have donated on charity on YouTube before and it got me a lot of hate. So this is not me just...
Okay, well maybe donate to charity because you want to, not to suffice other people, not to service your community. I don't know, maybe donate to charity out of the kindness of your heart, not so people won't be mad at you anymore. Hot take.
Myself to you. This is more so just updating my stance and making it more clear after having some time to think about it. Taking the conversation away from me, there's been a lot of rage bait content online about this buyout in the Sims YouTube space, and the truth is nobody can think clearly when they are angry, when they are scared, when they are sad. Rage bait content is...
That's a big statement. I think it makes it hard. For sure. For myself personally, I'm not scared about this. I wouldn't even say I'm angry about this. It's really just like, this goes against my morals. I'm not supporting this anymore. It's kind of that simple. And I'm not thinking irrationally in doing that. And I think that's just a really broad sweeping statement that would... If you thought that way, I mean, then so no one who has ever been upset has made rational decisions, which I'm sure that's not what he meant, but that's definitely what he said.
It's fantastic for views and ad revenue and social media validation, engagement. Honestly, I am not judging, okay? We all know I'm a rage bait YouTuber, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not judging. But I do feel like in this particular instance, it is putting other people in a really bad state, and I don't like it. If other people want to make that content, I think that's great, you do you. I'm just going to say right now, whilst this issue is still an extremely heated topic, I'm personally not going to be making any more statements or videos about it because I don't think it's helpful right now. Another thing that's making me feel sad is seeing people spend more time criticizing what others are doing rather than focusing on themselves and what they are doing.
Well, I think that's true. I think, again, that's focusing on the fringe people. So, like I said, for myself, I'm no longer supporting the company. That is what I'm doing. That's kind of like almost like a passive action. I just am no longer buying stuff. So I don't have to take time out of my day to do that. So I have time to be upset with you for this. So, sorry.
If you personally deeply care about LGBT rights or women's rights in Saudi Arabia, there's a lot that you can do if that's your thing. You could write a letter to your
Listen, if you personally care about people's rights, you can do that. I don't. I know that's not what he meant, but when I heard that, I was like, oh my god.
Like a politician demanding that the UAE is sanctioned, or you could stop buying Sims for packs or EA games if that's what makes you feel happy. Or you
just like, are we out here admitting like, yeah, I don't care, but if you do, okay.
Do absolutely nothing if you don't want to, and if you don't want to take action, that doesn't mean you're complicit, in my opinion. Not everybody.
Yeah, it does. Like, Okay, if you don't want to take action, that doesn't mean you're complicit. But if you want to actively keep buying packs, knowing where your money is going, I'm pretty sure that is like the definition of being complicit. So that's where I was like, okay, I kind of felt bad for him this whole video. He looked like he was having a hard time. Now I'm kind of like, I don't feel so bad.
Body knows what they can do, and
I don't think I'm being
everybody
mean.
is capable of doing something, and that's also
That's not my
fine.
intention.
I'm not judging, but fueling hatred, sadness, fear, and bullying in the Sims community, however, is not going to make any positive difference, and I do strongly stand by that statement. Criticizing others
I don't
for
think
not
this video will
responding in a way
either.
that you would like doesn't work. When you attack a person for not taking your stance, you're not going to convince them to take your side. It's for this reason I say, why are people fighting amongst each other so much? Who is actually to blame in this situation right now?
Can we talk about the social and economic state in the world right now? What is it that Jaden Smith says? Can we all love each other, guys?
Not any of us, that's for sure. The higher up people with a lot of power in EA and whoever else, they are the ones who are making these decisions. Yet the Sims community is almost blaming themselves for this and attacking each other. The community is eating itself.
I don't think that's what's happening. I think obviously you are mad at the higher ups first, but you kind of expect that sort of thing from those people. You don't expect this type of behavior from your favorite creators or whatever, you know.
Alive. And there are even people thriving in the controversy and drama. People taking advantage of the situation, using it for personal gain. I've actually been doing a lot of research on other EA video gaming communities, like the sports titles or even
but no
Apex
research
Legends
on
I had a look at.
the
And
deal.
the communities are not criticizing each other. They're not attacking each other. They're actually speaking about the issue in a very neutral, non-emotional way, which is the polar opposite of The Sims. And all of the hate and negativity that is there is 100% being directed towards EA. Yet in the Sims community, most of the hatred is towards each other. And I think it needs to stop. And I think it's organic.
I mean, yeah, that's not good. But also, I think you're seeing it from the lens of you're one of the creators who is being attacked. You're one of the creators who is being criticized. I put attacked in quotes because I think it's mostly criticism, but I do believe him when he's also being attacked. I just think it's probably a smaller percentage of people.
Out of hand. Everybody's trying to be the better person. Everybody's trying to say, well, this is my stance, and then other people are saying, well, this other person didn't take the same stance as you, so they're a horrible person, and this person made the right statement, that one made the wrong statement. It's too much. In terms of The Sims, I still think there's a chance for redemption. I don't think it's good to look into the hypothetical future, so I won't be talking about it too much, but I do genuinely think The Sims could in fact flourish from this. The Sims team could separate from EA. They could open a new studio.
I think that's a possibility. I do think it's an idealistic possibility, and I think we just don't. So far, all the information that we have is kind of pushing against that. So it's not that it's not possible. It's more so just that it would be pure speculation at this point.
Else might buy out The Sims. It might make way for a brand new, even better live sim game to come along. As I've made it clear before, I don't know how business and politics work, so I don't know if this stuff is possible and how it's possible, but I do know there's always a potential positive from this, and I've always said I don't want The Sims to die, and I still stand by that because I think it's a great game, fundamentally. With that being said, for now, I'm going to personally continue on with my channel as normal for the reasons stated. I have 3 YouTube channels actually, and I'm making content for all of them, and I'm still going to be here in my own lane doing my own thing, and other Sims YouTubers will be doing their own thing, and whatever anybody does is fine in their own retrospective space. I'd also like to say the support I've received from the SatchonSims gaming community is so incredible. I will be honest, I was quite upset a few days ago for some reasons, and I opened my comments and I thought, here we go, time to block some trolls, because I do delete your comments if you're a bitch. By the way, my social media space is curated to me, therefore if somebody's pissing me off, you're blocked. I open YouTube to think, gosh, what's this?
I think that's fine. I think it's your platform. You can do whatever you want with it. But I wonder how far he takes that, because my comment was the only comment that I could find that was criticizing him. And I'm waiting for it to be deleted, because there's deleting nasty hate comments on one hand, and then there's deleting criticism, which you talked about changing the narrative earlier and taking things out of context. I think that is doing that. So
going to be like. And it was actually really just so much support from really kind people being kind to me and telling me they would support me with whatever I do with my channel, and I just thought it was really lovely. And this is why I say I just think the SatchonSims gaming community is just incredible. Compared to the Sims community, the general community, I feel like the SatchonSims gaming community is honestly really nice. We all have a bitch and moan about the game, but we don't really complain about each other here, and there's rarely any hate towards me or any other Sims YouTubers. I always see people in the comments.
So it's an echo chamber. I don't see that as a good thing.
It's making fun of me, making fun.
I think it's great to support each other. That part is good, but
each other, and I think it's fantastic.
I think you know what I mean.
And I really just want to celebrate just how fantastic you guys are, because you truly are. So thank you so much for your continued support, and I hope this community continues to grow and flourish. So to reiterate what I said before, if you were just skimming through the video, I'm going to continue making Sims content as normal right now. We actually know that, well, there's a rumor that EA is not going to actually even be making packs for a while, which was apparently the case even before this buyout was decided. So I honestly doubt much is going to change with the Sims, and if you've already bought Sims full packs, like, it's fair game, they're yours to play.
I agree with that.
I'm going to play mine certainly. I'm also going to be playing with mods, which I used to do a lot and I don't do as much anymore, and I'm really excited to start doing that again. And if you guys have any ideas for things that you'd like to see on the channel, please let me know. We've got a whole year until this deal probably goes through, and I feel comfortable in taking my time in terms of understanding how it will affect the Sims, how it would affect me and you and everyone, and I think
how it would affect me.
it's important not to rush anybody to make a statement. Many Sims YouTubers will choose not to make a statement, and that's perfectly fine. So please, please, please don't contribute towards hate. Please, please, please just do what you think
Criticism is not
Thank you so
hate,
much for watching
Zach.
today's video. I will see you in the next one.
That was just really not it for me. I just, not a fan, and
Of that, because when
it's got this many dislikes, this many likes. Most people are digging it. This is my comment. It hasn't been deleted yet. Yeah. I mean, I love how mature he is about this with this profile picture. Judge of maturity there. I don't think anybody should send hate to anybody. I really don't. I'm disappointed in how this has been handled by Satch, and I'm not going to be watching him going forward, but I definitely don't think he deserves hate from this. I just wanted to give my thoughts on this because I had a lot of them when I watched this video, so I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Shaky. I am going to try to start doing more content on this channel and my other channel, Shaky Breaky Gaming. Yeah, let me know what you want me to do next, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.